Hey everybody, AwesomeMattG here, and today we've got another novel idea video. Today's book is Caliban's War, which is the second book in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey. And again, like the first book, we've got Caprices joining us today.
What up, bitches? See, it was way funnier in our heads than with execution, but we're leaving it.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, it's so dumb. So again, precursor, lots of spoilers. If you haven't read the book, go read the book first. Anyway, the end.
Danged.
All right.
I liked the book. It was good.
The end.
The end. Okay. I'll start because I just recently read it.
Yeah, no, I didn't reread it. I read it like months ago.
Right. I have to say, one of the first things I said about the book, and I said this, I think reading my first Holden chapter without even Naomi saying it, is I kept saying, oh my god, Holden is so different. He has changed. He's so different.
The first Holden chapter is the one where he's chasing down the pirates and he's all like, stop or I'll blow you out of the sky. And he's all like, fucking shoot him.
And you have this realization that he's been doing this. He's been killing these space pirates. And I'm like, that's not the James Holden I was introduced to in Leviathan Wakes, who had this like moral compass that was holier than thou. I mean, because no offense to him, he was a bit of my moral compass is better than yours. And the whole reason he didn't want Miller with him anymore was because Miller was he was a belter. He was belter justice.
Yeah. The whole shoot first, ask questions later.
Right, exactly. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And Holden definitely was of the order of, no, we have to do the right thing. And then suddenly in this book, he's like, I will kill you.
Yeah, shit's going down, son.
Right. And I was like, oh my god, he's so different. He's so changed. It was immediately palpable to me.
So when Naomi brought it up later, you weren't all that shocked that she was all like, "This, you are totally not the guy."
I felt
that I thought you were.
Yeah, I felt like almost like, yeah, thank you, like vindicated in that I was correct. Because I will say, when I talked to you about the book, because I talked to you a lot about the book, especially
along the way as you were reading it.
Matt is very good with just listening to me go off on these huge rants of, I think this is happening and this and this and this is what I'm inferring, and he's like, interesting. And then he gives he gives no other indication of, am I right, am I wrong?
That's an interesting way to look at it. And then just leaving it at that, and you're all like, you've always got this little anticipation of, am I right? And
I want confirmation.
And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you.
So yeah, in the very beginning I was like, oh my god, Holden's so different, right? And you were like, I don't know, is he? And I'm like, no, you tell me.
No, you're not done with the book yet.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you finish the book, we go into these long tirades in the car, driving around places.
Yes, we always have our after... Oh, I got really dirty. I thought of, like your after-sex cigarette, which, of course, neither of us smoke. But that's that sort of, stereotypical thing. So every time we read a book, our
after book
ride in the car, and we ride around town like for an hour just talking about the book.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much that I need to get out and say, because the book's really good. But yes, that was my first thing I noticed was wow, Holden is really different.
So I love a lot of the new characters that are introduced. I love Avasarala.
Yes, she's
great. I love how crass she is.
I love the juxtaposition of her when she's at home being just like when her granddaughter throws the water balloon and it just like bursts all over the floor, and she's like, did you just get my floor wet? And the girl's like, yes. And she's like, do you know what happens to little girls who get my floor wet? And you're like, oh crap, she's gonna beat this child. And the little girl's like, they get tickled. She's like, they get tickled. And then the next moment, she's being like, you're a fucking cunt to like whoever it is that she's talking to that's in politics.
It's one of the things that... It's one of the first things she says is when she's in that first congressional hearing or whatever it is, and she comes out and she's all like, ugh, they're all fucking men. Oh, yeah. And then the guy was like, I only think so-and-so is gay. She's like, no, I mean, all of those guys, they're men, the fuckers.
Well, I
was like, this chick, she's portrayed as like 60 or 70 years old or something, right?
She's portrayed as, she says, everyone describes her as the grandma. Like, even Bobbie, when she doesn't know who's who, she's like, okay, there's grandma lady, and So she's much older, and she
Yeah.
describes herself as everyone's grandmother.
Yeah. So she is an older Indian
Correct.
lady.
But she also talks about, and her husband says this as well, they call it the mask.
Yeah.
Because really the way she is, when she's at the UN or talking to anyone, you know, it's a mask.
Completely different from
it's
how she is in real, like, at home with
right.
her husband.
And I think that's just how she needs to be. But I really enjoy it. And in fact, I talked about that because I'm not huge on politics. At least not reading. Like, I don't want a book or like a video game like, what was it, Final Fantasy 12, where it was very heavily political. I find it kind of boring. It's just hard to do really well. And I knew that, you know, introducing Avasarala, there was going to be a lot of politics. There's a lot of, you know, she's a UN, I don't know her exact position because it changes, but she's a kind of a head honcho, and there's a lot of politics going on.
I think she's the assistant undersecretary
that's
or something
right,
like that.
That's right, yeah.
Because she's like...
To the bobblehead.
Yeah, to the bobblehead. She's like second or third in highest ranked official.
But I think as much as there was a lot of politics in it, and I remember telling you this, that it was never boring. That because I guess they gave that character such a strong point of view, and it was so crass, and it made me laugh a lot, and it just made those parts... Actually, I told Matt that some of my favorite parts were dealing with her and dealing with the politics of the situation. That I wasn't like, oh, I wish there were some space fights. I was like, oh, I hope I have another Avasarala chapter, and I get to see, you know, sort of the inner workings of everything.
Yeah. And then, of course, because I had talked to you a lot about Avasarala, because she's
Correct.
such a unique, like, drastic change character from the perception of what she looks like to how she actually acts. And then when I was when I was all like, hey, I want you, at the end of the book, I want you to guess who my new favorite character of the series is after this book.
I didn't even get all the way in. I was probably halfway through the book, and I was like, I already think I know who your favorite character is. Can I guess? And you were like, go ahead.
She doesn't have it. She doesn't have it yet.
And I looked at you and I was like, is it Bobbie? And the
and I was all like,
smile that
holy
grew.
shit, it is Bobbie. Yeah, I love her because she's just so... It's weird. She's so... It's hard to describe. I want to say she's visceral, but that sounds like she's a violent person, and she's not.
She's very strong-willed. She's a strong, independent woman.
And she don't need no man.
She don't need no man. But no, she really is. She's very headstrong.
Yeah.
She reminds me a little bit of the old Holden in that respect of she really likes doing what's right, and she wants justice.
But she may not understand necessarily what is right.
Correct.
In the grand scheme of things.
But she's also not as bold as to necessarily go as far as what Holden did. Although she is bold enough to stand up in the middle of a UN meeting and be like, hey, let's talk about the monster.
Yeah, why is everybody talking about the food shortages that are going to happen? Are we not going to just discuss this freaking monster that tried to kill me?
And I think that's why Avasarala really likes her as well, is that you need that. You need this strong woman. And I also really like the description of her and how everyone is met by her by, like, it's like when she was first going to step onto the Rosinante, and I think it was Alex maybe, that he had a view of the airlock and he was like, whoa! And they were like, what? And then she steps in because she has, I don't know what it's called, but she had her whole like mech suit on.
I think they call it power armor.
Right. And of course she's described as being a large Samoan woman, not fat, but large like the mountain. Like she's a big, tall, strong lady.
I pictured her looking kind of like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Mm-hmm. The female version of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
But physically the size of like Hafthor Bjornsson.
Right. Well, because even Holden said that even her muscles had muscles.
Yeah, and she was an Earth... No, she was a Martian.
She was a Martian.
She was a Martian, but even... I think at one point Holden comments that she's almost taller than Naomi, and Naomi's a belter.
Yes. And
so she's like... She is an extremely large woman.
But they talk about that even being a large woman, you can see the beauty because Holden talks about his lizard brain, and he's like, half of him is like,
run away,
and the other half is like, have sex with her. Because he said that he spent time on Oahu, and she reminds him of
The Hawaiian
the
women.
Hawaiian women, the Peloponnesian women, and how beautiful they were. And he's like, I can definitely see that in her.
Yeah.
And Bobbie talks about that men are either terrified of her or want to have sex with her. There's not really...
There's no real in-between. There's no,
Right.
like, I'm a friend. It's either I'm freaking scared of you or I want to bone you.
But I think what I really love about her is how headstrong, and strong-willed she is. And I also just love that it was a female character. And I'm not saying that as in respect of, like, girl power and I want all...
Feminist!
Like, I'm not that. I honestly... No offense to people who are, but that's not my thing, okay? But what I like about it is that she came across as being even more strong because she was female, because if it had been just a big burly dude...
You'd been like, okay,
I'd
it's
been
some
like, okay,
meathead.
yeah, it's just some guy. If it had been The Rock, I would have been like, well, he's cool, but somehow it was way more intimidating that it was a female
Yeah.
than it was if it had been male.
It's the instinctual thing at least in males, and I don't know if women have this same reaction because I'm not a woman. But what? But when you meet a woman, and in this case, when I read the character and got to know her, the initial intimidation was more so solely because I'm a man, she's a woman, she's significantly more powerful than I am, and it goes beyond the I don't want to get beat up feeling to the I don't want to get beat up by a woman.
Right. I don't think girls really have that. I mean, at least I don't. I feel like as a girl, you're just taught to be cautious in general of, like, big scary guys, and, you know, we have all of that, but I don't think that, like, I don't think I've ever had the instance where I've met another girl that I've thought to myself, oh my god, she might beat me up. Like, I don't want to be beaten up by a girl, because I'm like, I don't really...
Yeah, well, with dudes, it's the whole quote unquote macho thing. You don't want to get beaten up by a chick.
I totally get it.
And that's, I'm not going to say that was a huge portion of it, but there was certainly a little bit of she's more intimidating than me solely because she's a woman.
Well, and they really do play that up in the book. They really do, you know, sort of make it known that she intimidates a lot of dudes. Like, walking into in a room, like, especially if she's in her power armor, and the guy, like, a man doesn't back up, she's impressed because 99.9% of them do.
Yeah. And there was the one scene where she was working out on the ship that was taking her to Earth, and none of the other guys on the ship would work out when she was working out.
Right.
She always was forced to work out by herself.
Right.
And it's not necessarily because I don't want to work out with you because you're a chick. It was more along the lines of she understood it was because they were intimidated.
Yeah. And that's something that she's dealt with her whole life. And I like that
She doesn't let it get her down.
I was going to say, I don't ever really feel like she had a chip on her shoulder.
No.
She's very hyper aware, and she talks about it a lot in the books, that, you know, she's not the type of girl, and she told this to Avasarala as well. She's like, I don't use sex as a weapon. When Avasarala asked her to, like, go and flirt with the guy, and she was like, I am not going to have sex with him if that's what you're asking me to do. She has a good, you know, moral compass as well. But she's very hyper aware that guys a lot of times want to sleep with her for the novelty.
For the notch on their belt.
Right. For being like, I slept with this huge intimidating woman, I bedded her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't let that, you know, influence or, you know, make her feel like she's less than a person. She, you know, it's joking to say strong independent, but she really is.
She's the epitome of that stereotypical statement.
Yeah, and I really liked her, because I feel like a lot like Holden was in the first book, that she's very true to herself, and she tries to be really strong and not show emotion and stuff, but that's mostly because she's a military person.
So, change the subject. Tell me about how you felt in the scene where Holden and Prax and Amos are going to go try to look for May on Ganymede, and they're like getting away when they get captured. And that scene that you said, like, shocked the hell out of you.
I'm gonna try to make sure I know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about when they because there's two scenes there that shocked me. Because the first one is when the protomolecule attacks Bobbie, but that's right when they get off the ship. And there's the one where...
Well, that's at the very end. No.
No, that's at the beginning. Are you talking about... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's when they're on Io. Are you talking about when they go in and Amos has given Prax a gun, even though Holden's like, don't give him a gun?
That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that was just Amos. When the guards capture them at the very beginning.
Oh my freaking god! Oh my god! I know exactly what you're talking about, and I freaked out so bad about it. Okay, that's when they're on Ganymede and they're trying to leave, and Avasarala's team, who they don't know is her team, has gone to take them in because she's like, okay, we've let them do enough. We need to go ahead and bring them in. And so this Earther, I don't know what they call them, but it's sort of like a mercenary kind of squad, but they're not there to, well, you don't know this. They're there to capture them. And you think that they're there to get Holden, that's their main target. So of course they're still fighting each other, and then the last sentence of the scene is Amos getting shot in the back of the head, falling forward, and there just being blood everywhere. And Matt wasn't home, and I went, oh my fucking god, did they just kill Amos? Because I was so upset that, I mean, granted, you know that people die in this series. Miller has already died. It happens. You have to realize that this is, and more people can die.
You have this instinctual love for Amos just because he's this... he's kind of like Bobbie in the sense that he's this big brutish guy, but in reality he's like this really cool, down-to-earth, nice dude.
I call him like a big lug head. He's, they describe him as like being like a grease monkey, which he describes himself as.
Yeah.
He's big, he's broad.
He's the muscle.
He's the muscle, and he definitely knows how to handle himself around, weapons and things. And especially in this book, you realize how badass he is. And how he's not afraid to go after justice. He's someone you want on his side.
Yeah.
So for him to be so easily taken down, and nowhere there, very specifically in that chapter, do they ever say that the mercenaries are using rubber bullets, that he's not really dead.
They just comment that this guy comes behind him with a combat shotgun, shoots him in the back of the head, and then he falls face first onto the metal grating, and you hear a bone crunch.
With gushes of blood.
And blood just goes everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, they blew the back of his head off.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought happened. And of course your next chapter is not another Holden chapter.
No, it's like it goes to a Bobbie chapter, and then it goes to an Avasarala chapter.
And you're like, oh my god.
And you're just like, go back, I want to know what happened to Amos.
Well, yeah, that...
And then you find out all it did was knock him down, and he broke his nose when he hit the ground.
Right, and that's where all the blood came from. And he had a huge welt on the back of his head because it was a rubber bullet.
But it was point blank.
Right. But they don't tell you any of that. No. So you're left for quite a few chapters thinking to yourself, Amos has just been killed.
Yeah, and
how
sucks
that
so bad.
Impacts you as...
It hurts.
It does. As much as I watch a lot of anime, so I've trained myself as hard as I can not to get attached to characters.
Plus, because I've made Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've made the mistake before being like, I love that character, and then they're dead like a minute later, and I'm like, well, crap. Yeah, and I watched a lot of Game of Thrones. Remember, really quick in the Game of Thrones, where I was like, I really like that guy, and you're like,
it was the dude that helped. What's your name? Sansa escape after the purple wedding.
Yeah, and I was like, I really like
and you're
that
like,
guy.
I really like that guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, you do, huh?
And then
and literally like 2 minutes later, he gets fucking riddled with arrows.
Yeah,
and she's like, no.
And I looked at him and I was like, you knew that, didn't you?
And I just busted out laughing. I was like, yep.
So I try not to get too attached to characters, but it's really difficult in this book because even sort of your background characters that aren't point of view characters like Amos or Alex or Naomi, you're part of their crew. I mean, you're the third, person view looking down on them.
Yeah.
you know.
You feel like you're part of the team.
Right, and they give you tidbits of their background info, and you get how much the team are a family with one another. So you definitely don't want the family to be broken up at all, and it's hard. It really... I was really glad that I was reading that during the morning and not like 3 in the morning, because I would have ended up being like, well, now I gotta stay awake because I'm not going to bed with the fact that Amos is dead looming over me.
Yeah.
Yes, that one really shocked me. And then the next one that I told you, not just shocked me, but I had such a visceral reaction to it, such a gut reaction, is when, of course, they're getting funding for Prax to look for May.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And his wife, Nicola, or his ex-wife, I'm sorry, records the thing that's like, Prax is a child molester and he beat me, and he,
And instantly you were all like, fuck that bitch!
I called her a C word. I was immediately...
Don't be afraid, we're on YouTube.
I've already said cunt before, but for some reason now saying it just sounded wrong. But yes, I was so... Oh my god. I was so heartsick and angry, because by then...
You're already like, I like Prax because he's this father looking for his daughter who got lost, and he's trying to find her.
That's all he is.
And he just wants help.
He's just a good guy.
And
really,
then
that's all he is.
And then her mother...
Yeah, who didn't want her. Who left her behind.
Yeah,
she wanted a new life.
Trying to screw up his plan to try to save her.
I agree with Avasarala that wasn't Nicola doing it. That was...
Didn't they say they thought it was Martians?
No, I believe it was the people behind the Protogen. Like, the last of Protogen trying to discredit...
Who was the Nguyen? It was part of Nguyen's team.
Right. Oh, right, because they were the ones that now...
They were trying to thwart everything Avasarala was doing and everything Holden was doing.
Right, because the whole point of this book is that the UN, or at least not the entire UN, but
part
UN, his section was trying to produce the...
They were trying to weaponize the protomolecule.
That's the word I'm looking for. They were trying to weaponize the protomolecule. And of course, they needed May. They needed all those children that didn't have immune systems, because that's what...
It made it easier for the protomolecule to take hold.
Right.
Obviously, the protomolecule doesn't need a whole lot of help as it is.
Bioweapon. That's what I was trying to think of as well.
They were trying to make a bioweapon.
Correct.
But that's another thing is that monster. The protomolecule monster.
My god, and that's like, I think that's the very first chapter, because I want to say the very first chapter is Bobbie.
If you exclude the prologue, yes.
Well, I kind of do, just because, granted, the prologue gives you sort of a hint of to what's going to be happening in the book, but it's very, like, I don't know how that's going to fit in, so I kind of just go, like, your very first point of view chapter, but again, the epilogue is point of view.
But I know what you mean. Very first primary character chapter.
Correct. Is a Bobbie chapter, and that's when we first meet the protomolecule, this new version of the protomolecule, not just ripping up all of the Earth Marines.
But it tore into the Odin.
Right, it tore into the Martians as well. It completely did them.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
It's okay. And Yohimbo, which was their...
Yohimbo, that's what it was,
their
not
mech.
the Odin.
Right. You called it that last time, too, because you wanted to call it that. But it's Yohimbo was their giant mech. And she said it tore that apart like it was...
The reason I keep saying Odin is the Odin is a giant mech in StarCraft.
Oh. Close.
So I'm all like, it's the Odin.
Because
that's what I pictured. No. That's what I pictured when they were describing it.
I pictured... you never watched Gurren Lagann, but that's an anime. That's a anime. I pictured like their giant mechs and stuff they had.
Like a Gundam type.
Yeah, like a Gundam type.
Okay.
That's exactly kind of what I pictured.
Yeah, because see, when people talk about, because I've never even watched Gundam, so when people talk about Gundam suits, what I picture is Robotech.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because I watch Robotech all the time, but.
Well. Anyway.
Yeah, that's besides the point.
The point is that this new version of the protomolecule they've been able to use the children without immune systems to create is a friggin' beast. It is
It's humanoid.
it is humanoid. Its thought is, and they talk about this, they have this realization that it only attacks you when you attack it, because Bobbie talked about that a lot as she was going through the motions of, like, she kept watching her video over and over again when they were planning to go to Io, is she wanted to learn everything she could about the protomolecule because she knew she was going to face another one. You know, she had to be prepared for that. She knew that they were really good over long stretches, like they could run
Super fast,
way faster than humans, but they were not good with turning. So if she could keep like a zigzag pattern or like run towards it but then like quickly bolt at a 90-degree angle, that thing is not going to be able to continue to run at her.
Yeah,
because it doesn't turn on a dime.
It's gonna keep going and try to like make this huge arc to come back to her, or have to slam on the brakes.
Well, and she knows that if you put enough distance between it, it also will hurl things at you, just the way it used some of the bodies to throw into the other soldiers.
Yeah.
Rather than, because if it was up close, it would literally just rip you apart.
Yeah. Because that's what it did to Yohimbo, is it just tore the freaking door off of it.
Yeah, not just Yohimbo. A lot of the soldiers just completely ripped apart. I mean, this thing is... I mean, to say monstrous doesn't even give it enough weight. And this is the first thing you're introduced to, is this is going to set the, tone of the book.
I never really depicted it as being that large. I pictured it as being about the size of a full-size man.
I pictured it being small because...
Maybe a little bigger, but not by much.
After Prax and Holden and all of them were able to get away from...
oh, that's right, because one got on the ship.
One was on the ship. It was in
the cargo hold.
Yes.
And that was another reason why when later in the story Bobbie starts realizing that it doesn't attack you unless you attack it.
Right, because it did not...
in the cargo hold, it was not attacking Holden or Amos.
No, it was just chilling, and it wasn't until Amos shot at it, I think, or like threw something at it, that it was like, all right, let's do this. And then it became enraged.
Yeah. Enraged is a good term.
Yeah. Because I think that's what its program was to do. It's to go in and kill, But yeah, it was... At first, when they encountered it, they thought it was dead because it was just curled up in a ball, not moving, not doing anything. And they were like, okay, what is this stowaway? And then they realized...
They got close to it and it started moving and shifting, and they were like, holy crap, it's alive!
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't picture it as being very large, but obviously that didn't matter because the strength it had, the speed it had was inhuman. Oh, he's yawning. I was like, why is he
I was doing it quietly so they wouldn't know.
I'm so boring. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, the main point of this book is you're introduced to this new protomolecule and how did it get there and what is it doing, what's its connection to Venus. But the underlying story is trying to get May.
Yeah.
And realizing just how, like, who else is involved, because obviously...
It goes all the way up.
It really does.
It's like those legs on those women that you used to see in the 40s and 50s cartoons.
Yeah.
Do those legs go all the way up? I certainly hope so.
But yeah, this is just... It's one of those books that there's a lot of... I want to call it subterfuge. Like, there's a lot of just... everything happening.
Subterfuge is a good term. It's a lot of political intrigue, and it's all the government backstabbing and stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and you realize that that's actually, especially in this book, that is a huge portion of it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, technically, part of the Earth government, although not the Earth government itself, but at least some higher-ups in there have bid on this protomolecule to make it their own. They wanted to weaponize it and use it against Mars. And so you spend a lot of the book trying to figure out, who's behind it, and also thinking to yourself, they need to get to May and rescue her because obviously she's going to be used to create one of these. And even though you only meet May briefly, you can't help but already really love her just because Prax...
Where's my mommy? Where's mommy? And
yeah, she's just this little girl. She was 4 years old, they said, at the time she was taken.
And she was a little girl with an immune condition that was treated with medication that just went to school like any normal kid. She's finger painting when you first start the chapter.
Yep. She's just...
And then she gets abducted by these strange doctors, and they want to experiment on her with the protomolecule.
Well, once
and
not...
that's just... you just know that's horrifying.
Yeah.
You're just like, ugh.
One's not strange, and actually this is something that you got really excited about because you were like realizing how into the book I was getting with everything I was inferring is talking about Strickland. Because, you know, in the first book they talk about that this has been going on for a couple of years, so you think, okay, so obviously this has been a few years in the making, and then you meet Strickland, who like 5 or 6 years ago was a professor on, I think, Ceres, I wanted to say.
I want to say you're right, Ceres.
Ceres, sorry.
No, it's fine.
He was, or not like, if not a professor, he was working for the university, and then all of a sudden he disappeared for a few, disappeared, no one heard from him, and then he came back as a new person, and this new person was Strickland. And you have this realization that everything that's been going on with the protomolecule, all of this experimentation that's been taking place, is not just a few years in the making, this is tens of years in the making. Yeah. This has been going on and being planned for how many years? So long that they're taking people and giving them new, fresh identities, retraining them, because Strickland is now a doctor who has been taking care of May since she was months old with this immune system, and not just her, but other children as well.
Now she's 4, and this is only a couple of months after the end of the first book.
Right.
Which is only initially thought to have been a 2-year deal.
Right.
And now they're like, okay, this has been going on for at least a good 6 to 8 years, if not 10 or 12.
Yeah. You realize the scope of this is so much larger than what you thought it is. Because at first, in the first book, you're like, okay, Protogen, it's a private Earth company. That's really shitty, but okay. They're doing these experiments with, from this protomolecule they took from, Phoebe. But now it's bigger than that. It's bigger than you could have even imagined, and it could possibly even be bigger still. We don't know, or at least I do not know yet. But yeah, the scope of it just really struck me, and it really made me feel like, how high up does this go? How many people knew? How could so many people for so many years plan this out and do this? It's just horrifying. It really is.
Yeah.
And of course, they leave you on a cliffhanger because...
I was going to say, what did you think about the end of the book?
Great. I was going to segue into that.
I asked you, hey, when you're reading the last few chapters, can you do me a favor and read the
epilogue.
The epilogue out loud to me, because I want to relive the epilogue, because I knew what was going to happen.
Before I talk about the epilogue, I'll talk about the final chapter of the book.
Okay.
Which is where Venus comes to life.
Oh, yeah.
And sprouts like I guess they describe it as kind of like a bridge.
A spire.
A spire, yeah. And this like ring or whatever, and they're like, holy crap, what the hell is going on? They have no idea, because Venus has been dormant for all of this time. And they know stuff is brewing down on the surface.
Every time one of the protomolecule monsters appears on either Ganymede or Io, there's a huge spike on Venus.
Right, so there's the realization that these are all interconnected. It doesn't matter where they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, they know. That's how they also know things have been going on in Venus. They just can't get close enough to figure it out. And when they tried, of course, their ship was dismantled. I will not say destroyed.
Violently and almost instantaneously dismantled.
Right.
Yes.
But dismantled down to like screws and nuts and bolts. Right. Because it was trying to learn what this was.
Every time when they described it in the book, and I read this part like 2 or 3 times because I found it fascinating, was when they described how the ship was being taken apart. I pictured those 3D graphic representations of like an engine from a car in an exploded, dismantled view. How you have an engine sitting there whole, and then like all the nuts and bolts just shoot out from it. And so nothing is damaged. It's just everything is pulled to its original components, and that's exactly
Right.
what I pictured happening with that ship.
Right.
And of course, they mention, by the way, just in case you don't realize this, this is also going to flood all of the oxygenated areas of the ship out into vacuum space, which means everybody on the ship instantly died.
Right. So, I mean, obviously stuff is still happening on Venus. So you end the book with this realization that something has really happened. Like, whatever the protomolecule was doing, whatever its original purpose was, which I don't think it was to make bioweapons. I think that was something they genetically altered to try to use it as a weapon. But whatever happened on Eros and now happened on Venus was building up to this. And you're left with that, with not knowing what it is or what's going on, to be continued. But the epilogue specifically, Matt was like, read the epilogue to me. So I was like, all right. I'm a pretty good sight reader. That's why I, instead of listening to the audiobook, I read The Martian to us in the car. So I'm reading the epilogue, and I'm like, da-da-da-da-da, going on. And then
you're reading the part.
Matt said I audibly started slowing down because I started putting everything together. So it started being like slow motion, halftime of me reading.
She's all like, and then the guy cleared his throat behind Holden, and you were all like, okay, there's somebody standing behind Holden.
I'm like, right, there shouldn't be
like,
someone on the ship, but let's find out who it is.
You're like, oh, there's blue fireflies. Well, that's weird.
Like,
and then he adjusted his pork pie hat.
And I said it just that slow, too.
And I saw the gears all connect, and I was all like, yes!
And I was like, Miller's standing behind him. And that's it. That's
and he goes, hey, Holden, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And that's the last phrase of the book, and you're all like, what?
I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like, is Miller can't be alive. He was dead. He was on Venus. Is this Miller? Did he somehow, whatever happened on Venus, that they put out this spire and this ring and all this, did it bring Miller and all the other people that had been dead back to life? Is that what happened?
We don't know.
We don't know. And
it's left hanging.
The end.
Yeah.
And my
look
gosh.
for our next book.
I'm lucky that, of course, I'm reading The Expanse at a time where the first 5 books are out. I know that they're going to expand the book into more, expand the series into more books.
Like, I think they said 9 main novels.
Right. But at least for right now, I have the 5 main that they had put out, at my disposal ready to read. So I could immediately start reading Abaddon's Gate. But I can't even imagine what must have felt for other people who read that epilogue that had to wait like a year or however long in between.
A year.
And Matt joked, he goes, oh, do you mean it? He's like, all right, when I go to work tomorrow, I'm going to take Abaddon's Gate with me.
So that you can't
So I can't read it. And I went, no! Like, I took him so seriously.
You got so mad for like 3 seconds, and then you realized I was joking.
And Matt thought that was hilarious, and he's like, oh, interested in the book, are we? Enjoying the series, are we? And the answer is undoubtedly yes. This is a series, again, and I said this in the first one, is I never had considered myself much into sci-fi, and I never really thought I was ever going to read this series, and for whatever reason, I guess because after I read The Martian, I was like, all right, I'll take some suggestions.
Sci-fi isn't that boring.
I get it. And this has been so amazing. And then I told Matt, same with this book, where I'm usually not interested with reading about politics or having a game that's, high politics. And I loved those parts the most. I really loved getting Avasarala and Bobbie's chapters the most. And actually, I want to say, for me, the weakest character was probably Prax, is just because, not that I didn't enjoy him and he gave a heart to the story, but I just really wanted the meat.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Prax was the father of an integral plot device in the story, May, but yeah, he's kind of one of those characters that you're like, I like the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a cool dude and all that stuff. But it's more like, it seemed like he was a
one-dimensional character.
Well, see, I don't really want to say one-dimensional. I'm just like, he was an average citizen. He had no special
Yeah, I get that.
thing.
There was
he
no
was
real
a botanist, yeah, but
He was highly intelligent, but it was definitely one track. Anytime you were dealing with Prax, it was dealing with...
All it was I need to find my daughter.
Yeah, it was the heart of the story. And I mean that in the...
I'm looking for my daughter.
Yeah, I mean that in the, like, you know, Captain Planet, heart. You know, it was the kind of the weakest of everything, you know?
You're not necessarily saying he himself was a bad character. You're just like, out of all the characters, he was the least interesting.
I think so.
I get that.
I liked him. I thought May was adorable. I was so elated when they, you know, found her and she was alive and safe.
When Avasarala's coming around the corner and she hears the yelling and stuff in the cargo bay.
I love that. She's like, give me that child. You guys do not know how to deal with the child. She's like, come to Nana. And May's like, what's a Nana? And she's like, me. I'm a Nana. Come on. And she was like, she didn't really have time to spend all, you know, time playing with May. So she did. Because she was really, besides Prax, the only one that understood kids.
Yeah, because she had kids and grandchildren.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that out of everyone that Prax was the weakest. And I will say that I kind of agree that I think I liked Bobbie the best, even though Avasarala was really great and really interesting. But there was just something about Bobbie she was just such a strong character. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the story as a whole. I really loved realizing the scope of it and how much bigger it was. And of course, it really made me very ready to start Abaddon's Gate with that epilogue.
Yeah, now you're like, I want to start ahead.
Yeah. Well, I have, but I've been trying not to read as much because I'm not good at...
You're not good at separating one book from another.
I just knew we would start doing this, and I would start talking about stuff from that book, and you'd be like, no.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
Not yet. But no, overall, I will say for a sophomore book, you know, in a series, because, you know, a lot of times you have a book series and your first book of course going to be really exciting and it's really going to get you very interested in the story. And I will say a lot of times I feel like the second book in the series can sometimes be one of the weakest, just because they're just kind of setting pace to continue on, and I really don't feel like that. I told you that as well, as I feel like that so far I can't say like, you know, either book was weak or it was my least favorite. I feel like everything has really been on par. And I hope that the series continues that way, because right now, as I'm continuing reading, it feels that way, that I don't feel like I'm ever going to get to a place where I'm like, oh, that was the weakest book, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm still really excited about the series. It's really fun, and
I'm looking forward to the mini series, the sci-fi series as well. I hope they do a good job with the TV show.
Yes, I don't want to watch that until I've at least read
the next book. Well, because we have no idea how much they're going to put into the
either
series.
That, or you're going to have to watch. Such a tough job, Matt.
I'll have to watch it first.
You'll have to watch it first and tell me if I can watch it, and then you'll have to watch it a second time. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Yeah. That would be the only other option, because I really don't want to get spoilers. I mean, I do. I'm so desperate to find out stuff. Like,
well, I'll be honest with how quickly you're reading the books. Because the series doesn't start until like mid to late December.
Oh, I'll be done.
Yeah,
I'll be way done by then.
You're gonna be done with at least book 3 and probably book 4 and well into the 5th book by then.
I'm averaging,
if not done with all 5.
I've slowed down on Abaddon's Gate recently, but my first 2 books took me 3 days each to read.
3 days.
I just powered through it.
It's weird because I listen to them on audiobook, and of course I on average can only read about 40 minutes worth of an audiobook a day, 20 minutes to work, 20 minutes back. And with the occasional like trip out of town where I get like anywhere between 4 to 8 hours worth of drive time to listen to audiobook, but you know, 40 minutes a day of an audiobook, it takes me like a full month to read a book.
Right.
That's part of the reason why I span these out for a full month.
Right.
But yeah, the fact that you're able to knock one of these out in 3 days is really impressive.
I'm sure you could too if you were actually reading it, but maybe not, because you don't have a lot of time after work.
I'm also a slow manual reader. I don't read very quickly.
I read decently well.
I have to be like, I have to have like zero stimulation. Like, I don't understand people that can listen to music while they're working or listen to music while they read. And I'm like, I cannot physically do that.
I cannot do that. When you were playing Serious Sam with your friend, I had to leave
Lucid.
Who?
Lucid.
Lucid. I just knew him as Skid's friend.
Yeah.
Because that's how
my friend now.
Wow. Okay. I had to leave the room, and I had that issue. Like,
yeah, because you couldn't read while I was playing a game. And granted, I wasn't constantly talking while playing. But
no, but the little bit of talking that was being done is very distracting. I am a very focused person. Like, I need no stimulus or stimuli other than what I'm doing.
I'm the same way.
But yeah, I think that we're getting off on different tangents. But overall, I want to say that for a second book in the series, this was just as good. It was really great. Even saying that Prax was the weakest character doesn't mean this is a weaker book in any sense of that word than Leviathan Wakes. I think that this was just as great.
Yeah.
And I still highly recommend this book and the series.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. But yeah, that was our take on the book. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, in the comments, let us know if you have any other stuff you want to discuss, or if you want our opinions on particular parts in the book that we didn't cover that you want to. Also, if you want to request any specific books that we cover, you feel free to put the request down there, or post them to Twitter, or leave them on Ask FM, or however you guys want to do that.
Send up smoke signals, whatever you can do.
I'm probably not going to see. We don't leave the house that often.
That's true.
We're mole people.
If you know telepathy. Now's the time.
Reach out and touch someone. Don't touch me. Let me know what you guys want to hear. But at this point, since the previous book was A Wizard's First Rule, the first one in the Sword of Truth series, and I haven't posted that one yet, so I don't know if that's a popular series or not. I want to put off the second book of that series for a little bit, and our next book is going to be Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. This is an older post-apocalyptic book, but it was written in like the 50s, I think. It is
a one-off book.
It's just a one book. There's no series to this. It is the book. It ends at the end of the book, so you don't have to worry about anything. But being an older book, you should be able to find copies of it pretty easily on any e-reader that you have, or at your local used bookstore, and all that good stuff.
And there is an audio.
Yep, there's an audiobook version of it, and it's exceptional. That's the one I listened to. It was really well done. So that'll be our next title. So I'll probably, again, post a link to like the Amazon listing for the book in case you want to go look it up on Amazon. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Old Billy Riley was a dancing master. Old Billy Riley, 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 master of a droga. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, master of a droga, bound for Antigua. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, master of a droga. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley has a nice young daughter. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Missy Riley, little Missy Riley. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, old Missy Riley, old Billy Riley had a pretty daughter, but we can't get at her. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley had a pretty daughter. Old Billy Riley, screw her up and away we go, boys. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, screw her up and old Billy Riley, one more pull and then belay, boys. Old Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, one more pull and old Billy Riley, oh up.
Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Way, bully in the alley. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Bully down in Shinbone now. Sally is the girl that I love dearly. Way, bully in the alley. Sally is the girl that I splice dearly. Bully down in Shinbone now. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Way, bully in the alley. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Bully down in Shinbone now. For 7 long years I courted little Sally. Way, bully in the alley. But all she did was dilly and dally. Bully down in Shinbone now. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Way, bully in the alley. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Bully down in Shinbone now. I ever get back, I'll marry little Sally. Way, bully in the alley. Have 6 kids and live in Shinbone Alley. Bully down in Shinbone now. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Way, bully in the alley. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Bully down in Shinbone now.
My name was Captain Kidd, as I sailed, oh my name was Captain Kidd, as I sailed. My name was Captain Kidd, and God's laws I did forbid, and so wickedly I did, as I sailed, so wickedly I did, as I sailed. Oh, I murdered William Moore, as I sailed, oh, I murdered William Moore, as I sailed. I laid him in his gore, not many leagues from the shore. Oh, I murdered William Moore as I sailed, I murdered William Moore as I sailed. I spied 3 ships from Spain as I sailed, I spied 3 ships from Spain as I sailed. I spied 3 ships from Spain, I fired on them amain, and most of them I slain as I sailed, and most of them I slain as I sailed. Come all you young and old, see me die, come all you young and old, see me die. You are welcome to my goal, and by it I lost my soul. Come all you young and old, I must die, come all you young and old, I must die. Oh, Nancy Dawson, hey ho, she robbed the bosun, hey ho, that was the caution, hey ho, hey ho, oh yeah ho, oh Sally Racket, hey ho, owns my best jacket, hey ho, sold the pawn ticket, hey ho, oh yeah ho, oh Kitty Carson, hey ho, jilted the parson, hey ho, married a mason, hey ho, oh Betsy Baker, quick on hey ho.
Jenny man.
I need a quick on hey ho.
Jenny I-ho.
Oh, Jenny man. Oh, Jenny walk on hey ho.
Jenny man.
I need a hawk on hey ho.
Jenny man.
That was a cork on hey ho.
Jenny I-ho.
Going to Derby, 'twas on a market day. I met the finest rams that ever was fed up all day.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
This ram and I got drunk, sir, as drunk could be. And when we sobered up, sir, we were far away out at sea.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
This wonderful old ram, sir, was playful as a kid. It swallowed the captain's spyglass along with the bosom's fid.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
The night was very rough, sir, the wind like ice did feel. He borrowed me suit of oilskins and taught me trick at the wheel.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
He climbed aloft so full of him to stow the topsails tight. But halfway up he lost his nerve, he had an awful fright.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
One morning on the poop, sir, a fore nails was struck. He climbed up to the sky's yard and sat down on the truck.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
This wonderful old ram, sir, he tried a silly trick. He tried to jump the 5-bar fence and landed in a rick.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
This wonderful old ram, sir, it grew 2 horns of brass. One grew out of his shoulder blade, the other turned into a mast.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
To crew the good ship Jack Tars, handsome, strong and brave. The finest crowd of sailors that ever sailed over the waves.
That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie. Way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, early in the morning. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, early in the morning. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Early in the morning. Way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Early in the morning. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Early in the morning.
Come all you young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys, when the wind blows, we're all together, boys, blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly sou'wester, boys, steady she goes. Up jumps the ale with a slippery tail, climbs up aloft and reefs the topsail. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys, when the wind blows, we're all together, boys, blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly sou'wester, boys, steady she goes. And then up jumps jumps the shark with his 9 rows of teeth, saying, "You eat the dough, boys, and I'll eat the beef." And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly sou'wester, boys, steady she goes. Up jumps the whale, the largest of all. If you want any wind, well, I'll blow ye a squall. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly sou'wester, boys, steady she goes.
Here we go. We are outward bound for Kingston town with a heave-ho-ho. And we'll heave the old wheel round and round. Good morning, ladies all. And when we get to Kingston town with a heave-ho-ho, is there we'll drink and sorrow drown. Good morning, ladies all. Them gals down south are free and gay with a heave-ho-ho. With them we'll spend our hard-earned pay. Good morning, ladies all. We'll swing around, we'll have good fun with a heave-ho-ho. And soon we'll be back on the homeward run. Good morning, ladies all. And when we get to Bristol town with a heave-ho-ho, for the very last time we'll waltz around. Good morning, ladies all. With Paul and Meg and Sally too. With a heave-ho-ho, we'll drink and dance with a hullabaloo. Good morning, ladies all. So long goodbye to all your dears with a heave-ho-ho. Don't cry for us, don't waste your tears. Good morning, ladies all.
Hey, so handy, me boy, so handy. Why can't ye be so handy, oh?
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Oh, up aloft this yard must go.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Oh, up aloft from down below.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Growl ye may, but go ye must.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
And growl too much and your head they'll bust.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Oh, a bully ship and a bully crew.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Oh, we're the gang for the kicker through.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Your advance is gone, you'd see again.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Bound round the horn through the hail and rain.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Sing and haul and sing.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Oh, up aloft this yard we'll swing.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
Hey, up aloft that yard must go.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
For we are outward bound, ye know.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
A handy ship and a handy crew.
Handy, me boy, so handy.
A handy mate and an old man too.
Handy, me boy, so handy. Yeah.
England, old Ireland, England, old Ireland, England, old Ireland,
Ollie, ollie, ho.
Paddy McGinty, Paddy Jock and Jackie too, Paddy McGinty,
Ollie, ollie, ho.
Shamrock and Rose, boys, Shamrock, Rose and Thistle too, Shamrock and Rose, boys,
Ollie, ollie, ho.
England, old Ireland,
England, old Ireland. England, old Ireland.
me over. Men to gallant braces. Hi-oh, come roll me over. Men to furls against sails. Hi-oh, come roll me over. Men to furls against sails. Hi-oh, come roll me over. Men to bunt a bow. Hi-oh, come roll me over. Men to bunt a bow. Hi-oh, come roll me over.
Hey, boys! Oh, don't just hear the old man say,
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
oh, don't just hear the old man say,
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
we're homeward bound to Liverpool town.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
Where all of them duties they will come down.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
And when we get to the Wallasey gates,
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
oh, Sally and Polly for the flashmen do wait.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
And one to the other will hear them say,
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
oh, here he comes Johnny with 40 months' pay.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
Well, meet these fly gals and we'll ring the old bell.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
And with them duties we'll raise merry yell.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
We're homeward bound to the gals of the town.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
And stab me your bullies and even all round.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
And when we get home, boys, oh, well, we fly round.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
We'll leave up the anchor to this boy sound.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
We're homeward bound to the old backyard.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
And heave me bullies, we're all bound homeward.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
Oh, heave with the wheel, boys, oh, heave long and strong.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
And sing a good chorus, for 'tis a good song.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
We're homeward bound, we'll have yous to know.
Goodbye, fare ye well. Goodbye, fare ye well.
And over the water to England must go.
Hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, come rock and roll me over. To me, Johnny Poker, do. Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, the skipper is a rover. To me, Johnny Poker, do. Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, the mate is never sober.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, the bosun is a tailor.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, we'll all go on a jamboree. To me, Johnny Poker,
do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, the packet is a rolling.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, we're pulling all together.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, we'll haul for better weather.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, and soon we'll be in London town.
To me, Johnny Poker, do.
Oh, to me, Johnny Poker, come rock and roll me over.
To me, Johnny Poker, do. I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, the wind was foul and the sea ran high. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. She shipped it green and none went by, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. I hate to sail on this rotten tub. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. No grog allowed and rotten grub, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. We swear by a oath for want of more. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. But now we're through, so we'll go on shore, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.
I dreamed a dream the other night. Lowlands, lowlands, away down. My love, she came dressed all in white. Lowlands, away. I dreamed my love came in my sleep. Lowlands, lowlands, away down. Her cheeks were wet, her eyes did weep. Lowlands, away. She came to me at my bedside. Lowlands, lowlands, away down. All dressed in white like some fair bride. Lowlands, away. And bravely in her bosom fair. Lowlands, lowlands, away. Amsterdam there lived a maid, mark well what I do say. In Amsterdam there lives a maid, and she was mistress of her trade. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. A-roving, since roving's been my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. I asked this maid to take a walk, mark well what I do say. I asked this maid out for a walk, that we might have some private talk. I go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. A-roving, since roving's been my ruin. Go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. Then a great big Dutchman rammed my bow, mark well what I do say. For a great big Dutchman rammed my bow and said, young man, this is mine Frau. Oh no, no, a-roving with you, my maid. A-roving, since roving's been my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. Then take fair warning, boys, from me, mark well what I do say. So take a warning, boys, from me, with other men's wives don't make too free. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid. A-roving, since roving's been my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
Will pay Paddy Doyle for his boots. To be we'll all drink brandy and gin. To be we'll all shave under the chin. To be we'll all throw out at the cook. To be the dirty old man's on the poop. We'll Bowser up and be done. We'll pay Paddy Doyle for his boots. way roll and go. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the pond. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away, way roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Soon we'll be warping her out through the locks. Way roll and go, where the pretty young girls all come down in their frocks. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away, way roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Come breast the bars, bullies, heave her away, way roll and go. Soon we'll be rolling her down through the bay. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away, way roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh.
There was a ship, she sailed to Spain. Oh, roll and go. There was a ship, came home again. Tommy's on the topsail yard. And what do you think was in her hold? Oh, roll and go. There was diamonds, there was gold. Tommy's on the topsail yard. And what was in her lazarette? Oh, roll and go. Good split peas and bad bull meat. Tommy's on the topsail yard. Oh, man, your sailor man gets drunk. Oh, roll and go. Man, your sailor man gets drowned. Tommy's on the topsail yard.
Sally Brown, she's the gal for me, boys.
Row, boys, row, boys, row.
Sally Brown, she's the gal for me, boys.
Way high, Sally Brown.
It's down to Trinidad to see Sally Brown, boys.
Row, boys, row, boys, row.
Down to Trinidad to see Sally Brown, boys.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
She's lovely on the foreyard, she's lovely down below, boys.
Row, boys, row, boys, row.
She's lovely 'cause she loves me, that's all I want to know, boys.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
Oh, Captain Baker, how do you store your cargo?
Row, boys, row.
Some I stow forward and some I stow after.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
40 fathoms or more below, boys.
Row, boys, row.
There's 40 fathoms or more below, boys.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
Oh, way high, and up she rises.
Row, boys, row.
Way high, and the blocks is different sizes.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
Oh, one more pull, don't you hear the mate a bawling?
Row, boys, row.
One more pull, that's the end of our hauling.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown.
Sally Brown, she's the gal for me, boys.
Row, boys, row.
Sally Brown, she's the gal for me, boys.
Way high, Miss Sally Brown. As I rolled out one morning, away to Bonabola. As I rolled out one morning, I met a lady fair. Timmy, hey! Ring-a-jing-a-jing-a, ha-ha! Good morning, ladies all. Away to the ship I went.
Hey,
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 hey, ha, ha. Good morning, ladies all. Away you rode a boat. Hey, hey, ha, ha. Good morning, ladies all.
Hey.
She winked and flipped a flipper. Away you rode a boat. She winked and flipped a flipper. She thought I was a maid.
Hey, hey,
Ring-a-jig-a-jig-a, ha, ha. Good morning, ladies all.
Hey,
away you rode a boat.
Hey, hey,
Ring-a-jig-a-jig-a, ha, ha. Good morning, ladies all.
Running down to Cuba with a load of sugar. Way boys to Cuba. Make her run, you lime to squeeze us. Running down to Cuba. Way boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Oh, I got a sister, she's 9 feet tall. Way boys to Cuba. She sleeps in the kitchen with her feet in the hall. Running down to Cuba. Way boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. The captain, he will trim the sails. Way boys to Cuba. Winging the water over the rails. Running down to Cuba. Way boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Give me a gal can dance fandango. Way boys to Cuba. Round as a melon and sweet as a mango. Running down to Cuba. Way boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Load the sugar and homeward go. Way boys to Cuba. Mr. Mate, he told me so. Running down to Cuba. Way boys to Cuba. Running down to Cuba.
Ready, boys? The mate was drunk and he went below to take a swig at his bottle. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. The bottle, the sailor loves his bottle. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A bottle of rum, a bottle of gin, a bottle of Irish whiskey. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. Tobacco, tobacco, the sailor loves his baccio. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A packet of shag, a packet of cut, a plug of hard tobacco. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. The lassies ho, the maidens ho, the sailor loves the Judies ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A lass from the pool, a gal from the tide, a channel so fine and dandy ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A bully rough house, a bully rough house, the sailor likes the rough house ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A tread on me coat and all that's in, a bully good rough and tumble ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A sing-song ho, a sing-song ho, the sailor likes a sing-song ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A drinking song, a song of love, until he sees a ship it's ho. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle.
Farewell and adieu to you Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail for old England, and we may never see you fair ladies again.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the South Seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From ocean to city is 35 leagues.
We hove our ship to with the wind from southwest, boys. We hove our ship to, deep soundings to take. 'Twas 45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom. So we squared our main yard and up channel did steer. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas, and we'll strike soundings in the channel of Old England. From ocean to Scilly is 35 leagues. Now let every man drink off his full bumper. Now let every man drink off his full glass. We'll drink and be jolly and drown melancholy. And here's to the health of each true-hearted lass. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas, until we strike soundings in the channel of Old England. From ocean to Scilly is 35 leagues.
Oh, poor old Stormy's dead and gone.
Stormy along, boys, storm along, John.
Oh, poor old Stormy's dead and gone.
Ha-ha!
Come along,
Get along,
Stormy along, John. I dug his grave with a silver spade.
stormy along, boys, storm along,
I dug his grave with a silver spade.
Ha-ha!
Come along, get along, Stormy along, John. I lured him down with a golden chain.
Stormy along, boys, storm along,
I lured him down with a golden chain.
Ha-ha!
Come along, get along, Stormy along, John. I carried him away to Montego Bay.
Stormy along, boys, storm along,
I carried him away to Montego Bay.
Ha-ha!
Come along, get along, Stormy along, John.
Look ahead, look astern, look the weather in the lee.
Blow high, blow low, and so sail we.
I see a wreck to windward and a lofty ship to lee.
A sailing down along the coast of high Barbary.
Oh, are you a pirate or a man o' war? Cried we.
Blow high, blow low, and so sail we.
Oh no, I'm not a pirate, but a man o' war, cried he.
A sailing down along the coast of high Barbary.
We'll back up our topsail and heave our vessel to.
Blow high, blow low, and so sail we.
For we have got some letters to be carried home by you.
A sailing down along the coast of high Barbary.
For broadside, they fought all on the main.
Blow high, blow low, and so sail we.
Until at last the frigate shot the pirates' mast away.
A sailing down along the coast of high Barbary.
Cutlass and gun, ho, we fought for hours 3.
Blow high, blow low, and so sailed we.
The ship, it was their coffin, and the grave, it was the sea.
A sailing down along the coast of high Barbary.
A poor old man came riding by,
And we say so, and we know so.
Oh, a poor old man came riding by.
Oh, poor old man.
Says I, old man, your horse will die.
And we say so, and we know so.
And if he dies, we'll tan his hide.
Oh, poor old man.
And if he don't, I'll ride him again.
And we say so, and we know so.
And I'll ride him until the Lord knows when.
Oh, poor old man.
He's dead as a nail in the lamp room door.
And we say so, and we know so.
And he won't come worrying us no more.
Oh, poor old man.
We'll use the hair of his tail to sew our sails.
And we say so, and we know so.
And the iron of his shoes to make deck nails.
Oh, poor old man.
Drop him down with the long, long rope.
And we say
say so, and we know so.
so.
Where the sharks will have his body and the devil take his soul.
Ah,
Oh, poor old man.
Oh, say, was you ever in Rio Grande? Away, Rio! It's there that the river brings down golden sand, and we're down for the Rio Grande. And away, boys, away, away, Rio! It's farewell, my funny young girl, we're bound for the Rio Grande. It's farewell to you, all the girls of the town. Away, Rio! You got our half pay for to keep you around, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. And away, boys, away, away, Rio! It's farewell, my bonny young girl, for we're bound for the Rio Grande. She's a deep water ship and a deep water crew. Away, Rio! You can keep to the coast, but we're damned if we do, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. And away, boys, away, away, Rio! It's farewell, my bonny young girl, for we're bound for the Rio Grande. We was sick of the beach when our money was gone. Away, Rio! And signing this packet to drive her along, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. And away, boys, away, away, Rio! It's farewell, my bonny young girl, for we're bound for the Rio Grande.
Please tell me, what is this sailboat's name?
Sailboat Malarkey.
Tell me now, what is this good boat's name?
Sailboat Malarkey.
Well now, me boys, we are bound out to sea.
Sailboat Malarkey.
Oh, windward Caroline, come down to me.
Sailboat Malarkey.
She's lovely aloft and she's lovely below.
The sailboat Malarkey.
But she's best on her back, as you very well know.
Sailboat Malarkey.
Away, away in St. George's Town.
The sailboat Malarkey.
The rats come batting the houses down.
That sailboat Malarkey.
I give the word, boys, and all that I know.
The sailboat Malarkey.
To turn and to row with me, Lucy,
The sailboat Malarkey.
Here, pick her up, boys, and lay her down.
The sailboat Malarkey.
And hang on tight as she bounces around.
The sailboat Malarkey.
Did you ever see a wild goose sailing o'er the ocean?
And so,
away. They're just like them pretty girls when they get the notion.
and so,
away. The other morning I was walking by the river.
Ranso,
When I saw a young girl walking with her topsails all a-quiver.
Ranso,
I
and so, hey!
The west old ship that ever did sail sailed on a Erich on a windy day, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day till we get our pay. She was built in Roman times, out together with bits of twine, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day till we get our pay. Nothing in a galley, nothing in a hole. A skipper's turned in with a bag of gold, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Our 4-foot nest, they sprang a leak near a port out Timbers Creek, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. We pumped our way round Scalby Nest when the wind back round to west-northwest. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Into the umber and up to town, pump you blighters, pump us round. Waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay.
Hey! We'll heave him up and away we'll go.
Baby Susiana,
We'll heave him up and away we'll go.
we're all bound over the mountain.
We'll heave him up from down below.
Baby Susiana,
For that is where the cocks do crow.
we're all bound over the mountain.
And if we drown while we are young,
Baby Susiana,
it's better to drown than to wait to be hung.
we're all bound over the mountain.
Oh, growl ye may, but go ye must.
Baby Susiana,
If you growl too hard, your head they'll bust.
we're all bound over the mountain.
Up socks, you cocks, and her 2 blocks.
Baby Susiana,
And go below to your old ditty box.
we're all bound over the mountain.
Oh, rock and shake her one more drag.
Baby Susiana,
Oh, bend your duds and pack your bag.
we're all bound over the mountain.
Hey!
All right, lads. Where am I to go, me Johnnies? Oh, where am I to go?
Tell me.
Hey, hey, hey.
I roll and go.
Oh, where am I to go, me Johnnies? Oh, where am I to go?
For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go?
Oh, way up on that scallon yard, that's where you're bound to go.
Way, hey, hey, I roll and go.
Oh, way up on that gallant yard, that's where you're bound to go.
For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go?
Away up on that gallant yard and take the gasoline.
Tell me.
Way, hey, hey, I roll and go.
Away up on that gallant yard and take the gasoline.
For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go?
You're bound away to Kingston town, that's where you're bound to go.
Way, hey, hey, I roll and go.
You're bound away to Kingston town, that's where you're bound to go.
For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go?
Whiskey is the life of man. Whiskey, Johnny. Oh, whiskey is the life of man. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. I drink whiskey when I can. Whiskey, Johnny, I'll drink it out of an old tin can. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. Whiskey gave me a broken nose. Whiskey, Johnny, whiskey made me pawn my toes. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. Whiskey drove me around Cape Horn. Whiskey, Johnny, it was many a month when I was gone. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. I thought I heard the old man say, Whiskey, Johnny, I'll treat my crew in a decent way. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. A glass of grog for every man. Whiskey, Johnny, and a bottle for the shanty man. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh.
When he was prentice in London, he came to see his dear. The candles were all burning, the moon shone bright and clear. He knocked upon my window to ease me out of my pain. I rose to let him in, and then I barred the door again. I like well your behavior, and this I often say. I cannot rest contented when you are far away. The roads, they are so muddy, we cannot walk about. So roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. My father and my mother in yonder room do lie, a-hugging one another, so why not you and I? A-hugging one another without a fear or doubt. So roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. I pray thee speak more softly of what we have to do, lest that our noise of talking should make our pleasure rue. The streets, they are so nigh, love, the people walk about. They may peep in and spy, love, so blow the candles out. And if we prove successful, love, I'll name it after thee. I'll treat it neat and kiss it sweet and daft it on my knee. When your 3 years are over, your time it will be out, and I will pay my debt to you by blowing the candles out.